Well, I'm starting on it. I know I have tons of things going on, but I just can't take it anymore. So I'm going to tear apart this 2006 2500 HD in preparation for putting a 68 GMC cab on it and a stake bed. I've already listed all the sheet metal parts on Craigslist. Hopefully somebody comes along and scoops up these good parts. I would say the bed's no good. I mean, it's decent, but it's just beat up and ripped, and yeah, of course the back of the cab, but it's coming apart. Tired of looking at it and tired of waiting. Well, I got it this far by myself. Why not? Making progress. Well, I'd say I'm off to a pretty good start. Of course, this is all the easy part of getting all the sheet metal off, and I've really only been at this for about 3 hours. And granted, I'm not trying to take care of this stuff very much. I'm not, beating it up, but it's not like it's going to get, repainted by me or anything. So I put all these parts up for sale on Craigslist, and the next big step will be getting that cab off the rest of the way. Hopefully I get some buyers on the doors so I can justify pulling them off. I don't want to do it just yet. I don't think it'll hurt anything, but as much as it's been raining, I'd rather keep it semi-dry in there. So yeah, a little bit of progress. Well, it's been a busy day. Beautiful day in Georgia. Beautiful day for cutting up a truck. That's right. Took it all apart. I've actually sold off some sheet metal and some stuff. And now I'm starting to get down to the nitty-gritty. And I've been reviewing how I'm going to do this. I had seen some where they had moved the rear axle forward, but that was a standard cab truck, and after looking at it, that's not going to work. So I'm going to go back to the idea of sectioning out some frame. There's a split seam right there, and moving everything back about 2 feet, including the torsion bar, cross member, the tranny mount, and whatever it takes to get there. But yeah, I had to make everything into manageable pieces, and everything in that trailer I put in that bed by myself, because sometimes I just can't find help. The bed was probably the most challenging part, but all that's going to go to scrap, and I'll just keep showing you what I'm doing. Looks like a big mess, doesn't it? Well, alright, I made some progress today. I had to get all the wires separated. Didn't cut any of them. I got the Hydro Boost brake separated. Of course, just had to pull the steering column and everything else to get up the front of this cab off. At this point, and I'll show you, there must be, I don't know, 10 miles of wire under this dash. I may be exaggerating, but sure felt like a lot of wire. And boy, it took me some time to get all that separated and out of the way, and most of that's going to get hooked back up. At least I plan to have that hooked back up. So I've been reviewing my measurements a little bit. Now, if you took a standard cab, 67 to 72 long bed, they were 127 inches in the wheelbase. This truck is 158 inches. Obviously that's too long to make it look right. So the plan, like I said before, is to shorten it up. and it's gonna, I think 23 inches will make a big difference. The difference between what's here and the factory style truck would be 31 inches. I'll be able to take out 23, and the only reason I say 23 is because this cross member, which supports the torsion bars, has to move aft. And if I measure from here basically to this point where this cross member is here, which holds the carrier bearing, that's about 23.5 inches. So I want to make it stop just a little bit short. I don't want to get back into this cross member area, and it partly has a curve, so I don't want to, you know, fight with any of that stuff. And I think if I go to that 23 inches, that'll leave me with 8 inches. And then if I, well, my plan is to put stacks on this thing. If I go with some 5-inch stacks, that'll take up most of that gap and leave me some play in between. I think that's going to work out perfect. Funny part is, this drive shaft, when I take out 23 inches, that thing's going to be 7 inches long. I don't think it's a big deal because it's going to be in that carrier bearing, and it's just an extension anyway. Other than that, the challenge will be cutting out these welds right here, and then there's some more welds on the inside. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, there's some welds right there, so I'll have to grind those out. And then I'm gonna leave the front half of this alone, all this plumbing, but I'm gonna have to shorten this line. Probably just put a union in, and I can easily get rid of that distance. The other thing is I'm gonna have to shorten these two fuel lines, and I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna do that yet. I'm not fully decided on that yet. So tomorrow I'm gonna start breaking things loose. I'm gonna have to pop these rivets out of there, and I'm probably gonna cut off the cab mounts that are already on this thing. They're just gonna be in the way, so I'll eliminate those. And the cross member for the tranny is bolt in. See the bolt down there, so that'll be easy enough. And then once I get all the welds broke loose, and before I get all the welds loose, I'll support the front section of the frame, and I'll support the rear section somehow too, but I need to support the front because it's not going to move. I'll cut the welds out, pull that back, cut off my 23 inches, bring it back up to that same point, and weld it in. And you know, technically the transmission's not moving, none of that stuff's moving, the frame is coming closer to it. So I think this will be the close of my first segment of the conversion for the 2500 HD and a 68 GMC. Stay tuned, there's more to come.